Wait.
Okay, we're ready.
I've got Jim on twice.
Just proton.
I know.
Bring it up.
Well, you're actually looking at our club meeting broadcast where I have you and Jim and myself in different views. And this is the whole group here. We've actually got quite a few people that have showed up for in-person meeting. My name is Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions. This is the San Carlos Computer Club. We meet every Tuesday at 10 at Tequilas to talk tech all morning. Please, everyone is welcome to join us. I encourage people to bring their own topics and their questions and their concerns so that we can address them as a group. Some of us may be having the exact same problems.
VPN.
One of our most recent same problems was the iPad issue of charging that Judy brought to our attention that Sid and I were surprised to have had exactly the same problem almost the same day. A very bizarre problem where the iPad would not charge, and we thought the charger was bad. Then we tried it on a number of different chargers and had the same experience where it wouldn't go past 27%. And then, miraculously, it just starts charging. Judy came into club last week to report the same problem right at the exact same time we were having problems with Sid's. Both problems have resolved themselves. Neither was related to charging in the first place, which leaves us to believe it was a software glitch from an update that was one of these whisper updates, one of these ghostly updates. They pushed something out that didn't work. They didn't call it an update, but same day.
It was 18.1.1.
Well, no, 18.3.1 would be the one you're referring to.
Well,
But you don't have 3.1 yet.
I do now.
You do now after the problem.
But I had it.
But
before
she
the
had it
problem.
at the time. And that's my point, is they push out updates, they being these software manufacturer companies. They push out updates they want you to know about and updates they don't want you to know about. And the ones they don't want you to know about, they don't inform you what's going on.
Okay.
And this could have easily been just a set of settings that was supposed to go out. Or it should have gone out with 18.3, and then they started seeing glitches, and so they rolled out something that would fix it without saying anything. But the problem is gone, and we would not have realized it was affecting a number of people if Judy and Sid hadn't showed up here with the exact same problem across two different iPads, running slightly different versions of the software. The company, Apple, has not released any information saying that they had this problem, but Sid was saying this morning he found a half dozen people out there with the same problem at the same time.
And what would you actually, if you were searching for that problem, what would you call it? And I do have it silenced, but it's still not making it. Still making it. So.
Well, personally, I mean, I go looking for information all the time,
Me too.
and I would call that a charging problem. I would say it's a charging problem with 18.3 on iPad.
Yeah.
And then I would look for anybody else that was having that kind of problem with it, which is what Sid's done, and found other people complaining about the same problem. In fact, one of the troubleshooting that we did, and I suspect you did as well, is took the charger that you had in question and plugged it into another device to see if it works. And we had done that with Sid's and verified that the device was working. And so we were left with the conclusion we needed to reload the software in his tablet. This is before talking to Judy, without knowing other people were
And
suffering
Judy
from
just
this.
turned her iPad off and turned it back on. And it worked.
So, a couple other things that we do besides basking in the helpfulness that we have, coming together with the same issues and sharing. There are three things that have been on our topics every week, and I'm just going to reiterate them again so they're not forgotten about. The Bill of Digital Rights is beckoning your opinions, so please feel free to check that out. The link's in the document. The more that we see what's going on, the more I feel like this would protect our individual digital personas more than ever. I think this should be at the top of your mind if you're an American, if you're a gringo right now, because apparently all your government information is being consolidated into systems that are questionably secure. possibly compromised. Oh yeah, again, I run a bed and breakfast in Alaska over the summers. If you guys are coming to Alaska this summer, let me know. I'll give you a 10% discount just because you're part of San Carlos. And rooms are going quick. So if you're planning an Alaskan vacation and you haven't gotten accommodations, this is the time to do it. What was that, TJ? I don't have a QR code for the bed and breakfast. And then the third thing that I've been mentioning for weeks is that I'm interested in doing another Smartphones for Dummies, like I did 5 years ago. And you'll find at the bottom of this document all the new topics that we feel, I've been collecting them from people here in club. If you have come up with a phone topic that you think others should know about, should be taught, please let me know. As we come up with questions that we can't answer, I've been adding them to the list so that they can be addressed. Nancy, if you're interested in this document, I can send you a copy. Yeah. Oh, and for anybody that doesn't recognize, this is Nancy. She's come to join us for the first time, so don't scare her.
Yeah, don't scare me.
Don't pick on her. She doesn't know how brutal we can be at times.
That's okay. I'll listen.
No, never.
And so that is the preliminaries of one of our meetings, and I have come very light on topics, mostly because I knew Linda was bringing in a TV to show us what she's doing. And one of the problems you were having, Linda, was getting software installed in a Fire Stick. Is that right? Okay, now this is a very interesting topic that I'm not going to be able to put up there on the screen, I don't think. Maybe I should readjust the camera so we can look at Linda's screen. Let me see if I can do this easy enough. So if the question, Linda, is how do you install software that does not come out of the Amazon store? The answer is to put your Fire Stick in developer mode. And to do that, it's a common thing on Android-based devices. You have to go into the About in your system settings.
Just a minute.
She said.
What are you working on?
Put my password in here so I can get you Google.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have that on camera.
I got it.
When you're ready.
Couldn't find my Google account.
Well, I'm not sure
That's
about.
your email address that they want right there, Linda.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's an email or phone.
so copy that to the next screen, the last screen. Can't copy it.
There's Irving.
Hey, Irving. Welcome. We got a big group this morning.
Okay. I got it.
Right, well, we do take a token stipend for the restaurant.
10 pesos on
1,
the
2,
table.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think this is the biggest group we've had all season.
That's not true.
How many you got online?
I've got Jim and I've got Fred in Costa Rica. He says hi. Oh, and here's Chester wanting to get in.
Look at this. Won't let me sign in.
Now it does.
Now once you
Morning, Chester. I hope you weren't waiting too long.
No.
Mhm.
Few minutes.
Don't everybody look.
Oh, it's all right. I already broadcasted it on the internet.
Guess you'll have to change that.
Being a computer consultant concerned about security, I would advise you to change your password after this meeting.
I will.
So, Linda, when you're ready, I can walk you through getting the software, getting the stick in a mode where you can install third-party software. And that's really the issue that she's having. We found these Fire Sticks to be great equipment for streaming these softwares that we run. But the softwares that we run aren't necessarily in the Amazon store. And so to get them installed in the stick, you actually have to,
Forget it.
secure, for like
Unsecure.
unsecure. All right. That's probably a better way to put it. Unsecure.
Now I can't get out of this, and I can't, it's not taking it.
Cancel
Now-
from there.
If you're somebody that's wanting to wrap your head around what we're talking about, and you're an Apple person, you've never been able to do this. Until
Look,
Keep going back.
recently, Apple has had a locked app store, so that anything you put in your Apple device, you have to get from Apple. And that's only the mobile devices. The desktops, you have always been able to download and install software, but your iPhone, your iPad, any of those style devices, the iDevices, they require you to get the software from the store. In the Android world, it's much more similar to a Windows operating system in that you can load software from all different places. There are Android devices that are built to block that ability, and that's considered more secure. And it should be, because if you don't know where you're getting software, then you could be getting it from a malicious place. And so by locking it to the Amazon store, the onus is going on to Amazon for making sure that you're getting legitimate software installed in the device. The problem with organizations like Amazon is that they don't particularly like to host software that doesn't allow them to make money. And so some of the softwares we use allow us to watch TV without paying Amazon anything. And Amazon doesn't like that, and so they don't host that software. Some of these softwares also are questionable by certain copyright laws in different countries, and Amazon wouldn't want to run afoul of that, and so they don't host these softwares. Fortunately, the Amazon device is an Android device, and since it's an Android device, we can open it up to be able to install from third parties, is what you would call it. So Linda wants to put a VPN on her Fire Stick, so that the Fire Stick will behave as though it's in the United States. To install that VPN, you can't get it in the store. You have to get it outside of the Amazon App Store.
Won't VPN do it? Like you can't you add the Fire Stick to your VPN? I did.
Well, you can add a VPN to the Fire Stick, but the one that Linda wants to install, Proton VPN. And we talk about VPNs all the time in this club. There's been some recent changes in my recommendations for VPNs. The Proton VPN right now is the only one that we really feel comfortable recommending for security and privacy. As far as ease of use, though, they're not in the store. All right. Hello, Cheryl. Cheryl's online with us.
We can't see it.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Okay.
And Cheryl, all your desktop noise is coming across to our meeting here.
So I'm about to mute myself.
Okay.
I just wanted to find out, there was a person looking for computer club and kind of thing, and I'm not sure if they showed up today. So
Be named.
there might be somebody showing up.
Was it Cheryl, I think, that recommended?
It could be. We do have a guest. Nancy's here with us. Is this the young lady you're referring to?
I don't know if it was a young lady or a young man. It was somebody on Vive on George's bulletin board that was looking.
Oh, my
for-
name is different on the San Carlos board. It's Charlie. But yeah, I'm
Charlie. There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Charlie, I'm glad you found us, and hopefully Scott can give you a hand with what you were looking for. Okay, bye-bye.
All right. So Linda, I think what we should do is I should walk you through how to get third-party software installed in your Fire Stick.
Yeah, are you taking notes?
No, you want some paper?
Just take the note how to get third party.
Hey, you do realize there is a YouTube you can go back to. That's the reason we put it on
That's why I
YouTube.
tried to find it.
I'm sorry?
That's why I tried to find that. Anyway, let's do it.
Okay.
We got it.
Okay, so what you need to first do is go into the settings of your Android device. So go into the settings of your Fire Stick.
Right here.
That's actually your apps. Go over one more. And then down to go into settings. And then you're looking for My Fire TV.
Right down here.
Yeah. And then at the top of this, you'll find one that says About.
Yeah,
So click on that.
about. That's-
Okay, and now you see that Fire Stick TV, it's telling you about all the versions there.
Yeah,
Just click on that 1,000 times.
Fire Stick TV.
Yep, just blah, 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 blah. Whole bunch. There you go, there you go, there you go. Done. You've opened up developer mode.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, you see the message at the bottom of the screen? Now,
It's
back.
on now.
Go back button?
Go back button, yeah. And you should have developer
Oh,
options.
look
So
at
go down to
that.
developer options.
Okay.
Open that up. And now the second one down will allow you to install unknown
I looked
apps.
all over for
But
this.
it is still unknown.
Ye-
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's happened with the latest versions, if you go ahead and turn that on, it will list the apps in the Fire Stick that have the ability to put unknown apps in it.
Okay.
So these are 2 apps that you've installed that have the ability to download apps for you, and what you're doing is you're giving those apps individually permission to install in your Fire Stick. This is new. This has been around for about the last 6 months. Before, you would just have an on and off switch,
Right.
and the on would be on, and then anything from anywhere could be installed. Now what they've done is they recognize the apps that have the potential for putting new apps into your device and giving you control over each individual app. So I use Downloader for all my stuff, and that's the one that that's the one I authorize.
We shouldn't turn both of them on, or?
The downloader versions. One's a spyware, not good version. The other one is the original downloader from Troy Point.
Wow. So
And
How
they're
do you
both
know which
called
one this is?
downloader.
yeah, how do you tell the
Okay,
difference?
Well, come over here and look at this.
Take a look at it, Jim. Make sure she's got the right downloader.
They're different colors.
This is
The
gold
Troy,
with,
the Troy Point is orange.
That one looks like
It
what
looks
I
orange to
expected to
me.
be.
That should be the right one.
Yeah, it looks. And now it's on. So Linda, what that means is if you use Downloader to download anything, then you can use it to install as well.
so we can just leave it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you
Check
don't
it to
want
make sure it's the right
But
one.
should
though.
you put Ian's File Explorer on too?
no. No, in fact, let's always err on the side of being very conservative. You don't want to open up any more attack surface than you have to. Richard, people were asking about you. It's nice to see you.
Love the website.
No, Richard, you need to come over here. I've got the TV. Come over here, I've got the TV.
I should say the, I don't know.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Now
The
what?
YouTube
Now
video.
what?
Well, now you're ready to do your thing. So now you can back out all this, hit the home button, and just go to do whatever you're going to do. I would traverse the internet in Downloader, finding whatever it is you're trying to install. And whatever it is you're trying to install, I would have some install instructions for Fire TV.
Okay, so we're gonna try and install the Proton VPN.
Well, I think I'm going to let you try and do that while we continue to have a meeting,
All
because
right,
we
but
don't
where
have
am I
any of that
going? They
information with
wanted
us.
her to sign in to her Google account. She does.
To-
Google Play.
no, you're not going to use Google Play.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
it. So
Alright,
tell
well,
me
now
now
it's
where to
just-
go.
Downloader.
Downloader.com or
No, you
something.
go to the
Now I'm
Downloader
gonna
app.
go-
Oh,
now
the
I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
apps.
Because you use the downloader
Oh,
on the
okay.
Fire TV. Use the Downloader app as a web browser.
Okay, so look,
It should
It
be
should be
there.
at the bottom.
my apps.
Yeah, in your apps. It should be in your apps. Otherwise, it wouldn't have appeared there in
See, I
the
don't
settings.
know any of this. All right.
Yeah, that's all your apps. So there's some more down below. You're looking for Downloader. There it is
is.
at the end. And then you use this like a web browser.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
It's a-
Allow downloader to access photos, media, and
Yep.
files.
You got to, or you can't save what you download.
Okay. Welcome to download.
Yeah, that's terms of service. You got to say yes, or you can't use the software. That's
Right.
why there's only an OK button.
All right.
And then right there is where you would type in your web address to go to wherever you're going to download from.
Proton VPN or
The
do I
beauty of the
need-
Downloader app is that after you've downloaded something, it will sit in a folder called Files on the side there. So if you're having problems with it, you can reinstall it. You can uninstall it, reinstall it. If it doesn't install the first time, you can come back and install it a
So this
second
is
time.
where she's actually searching now for Proton.
That's right. She would put in the web address to go to Proton, sign into her Proton account.
www,
No,
just Proton VPN?
Linda, I don't have any of that information with me. Maybe a couple of Google searches to find out. Maybe Richard knows. Where would you go to get the Android version of the Proton VPN?
Let's see.
You would, I think that's an app, so you just go to the App Store.
no, it didn't.
Well,
take
I
me there.
think that, Linda, the reason we're doing this is because you didn't find it in the Amazon App Store, right?
No,
I'm not sure though.
Okay,
Are you
there.
thinking of using
There it
it for
is.
streaming?
download Proton VPN.
Yep. That sounds right.
But I don't think that you can stream off,
Well, you see, I couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't use Proton to stream off your Fire?
not off,
Well,
not off
So-
the
Roku.
free accounts. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, off the free version of the VPN. Do you have a paid version, Linda?
I was gonna do.
See, you're
create a
on
free
something
account.
up there,
Yeah.
Go.
But look at, I can't get to it.
Yeah, but look at
Just
the
click on
top. No,
Huh?
she's on go.all something.
Oh, well, it's just a search result.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a bad thing.
No, it's part of download.
Okay, look,
But look, she's got a red circle.
it won't go on to the Proton, you see it jumps over it? See?
Maybe scroll the window a little bit so that, I mean, it's not a fun mouse. That's the reason we kind of add Bluetooth keyboards and mice to these things.
I could have brought my keyboard too.
But if you just scroll that window and get into a better position, then you should be able to click on it. Just go up, up, up. Yeah, and try and reposition where that link is so that you can be on top of it.
It's down. It's under the 10 VPN, see? There it is.
Okay, so now come back up, go over to it. You only there you go. Try clicking right there. No, a little higher.
Now it says, look what it says down here.
Begin.
It won't go down. See what it does?
I can't read what I'm looking at.
It's down under that.
Wait, isn't this it right
Well,
there?
click
No.
out of that begin thing.
It's
See,
right
there's
there
an
next
X
to,
there.
underneath, right there. See, it won't go to the download.
You see that little X over there beside the green on the right?
Yeah, but
X
there's
out of that.
It won't go.
there's nothing easy about that.
See where it says enter?
This is just an ad.
I know.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, see how frustrating that is?
Won't do
Yeah.
anything.
You
Yep,
need
there
your
it goes.
keyboard. I want to touch the screen.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done Proton. This is how you would install generally any third-party program that isn't in the App
Oh,
Store.
wait, look at this. Apps on Google Play.
Yeah, but we can't download them from Google Play. Not even with Downloader, we can't download them with Google Play.
Okay, so look,
Yeah, so
it's not going to let me, but I do have
Proton
my VPN,
VPN.
on there. I have my VPN. VPN Unlimited is on there because I use it because that's how I get Pluto and all. Ooh, what's this?
see, maybe you don't even need to install it. Maybe it's actually in the apps. So maybe you don't even need Downloader. Maybe you don't have to.
Look,
Yeah, because it's available in the App Store.
Says get.
Yeah.
It is download.
Process.
We're working way too hard, Linda.
well, I didn't see it there.
So what I did was I just grabbed, in fact, if any of you have a Fire Stick, I just grabbed the blue button and told it what I wanted, and it put it up in front of me.
Also, if you want apps, downloader that are already there, install it. You have to install the toolbox like Troy Point in the downloader, and then you'll have a whole selection of apps that you can already install.
Well, I use Troy,
Just scroll through it.
Point.
So let me see. I had to use the downloader for third-party apps for Smart DNS Proxy VPN, which I set up for somebody on the Fire Stick. They did not have an app in the App Store. So the process that we're doing right now was necessary for Smart DNS Proxy's VPN. I think, Jim, you can confirm that, right? That Smart DNS Proxy's VPN can only be installed in a Fire Stick by using the downloader.
I believe you can. I haven't.
I've done it, but I could not find it in the App Store.
No, it's not. You'd have to side load it.
Why
Yeah.
is this taking so long?
Thank you. I wasn't using that language, but that is the correct language.
The only one they have pops up is Smart DNS.
Yeah, that's not it.
No.
But what we're doing when we open up the permissions and use a program like Downloader is it's called side loading. We're not going through the official channel. We're doing it ourselves.
So why is it taking so long?
Because you're here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because you're
They've got a
here.
lot of internet here. It should be going pretty fast.
Because it's,
So, as far as VPNs on the Fire Stick, what I've confirmed is working without a problem is ExpressVPN. I just helped somebody with IPVanish. That was available in the store. Both those two are available in the store. The Smart DNS Proxy VPN. All of these are working correctly. I've heard stories of people using Nord. Is there anybody using a VPN with a Fire Stick that I haven't mentioned?
Yeah, well, I use VPN Unlimited on here, and it
Unlimited?
works,
And it
but
works?
you cannot get Netflix on it. Where I put it on, where I went in and it said where to go to do the Netflix and stuff, but when I go on there, then it comes up and it says I'm not available, so I don't know why.
do you have Mexican Netflix?
Huh? No, I get Mexican Netflix, but I was understood that you could get US Netflix by using the VPN.
Are you,
Wait, does it recognize that you're using a VPN when
Yes.
you have it on? So
As
that's
soon as
really
you-
the
As
issue.
soon as you turn on Netflix, it tells you that you're
Yeah.
using the VPN.
So have you worked with customer support to try and resolve that issue?
On the VPN?
Yeah, the VPN.
Well, I
But
went,
That's been one of the real advantages to places like Smart DNS and ExpressVPN is that you can get a hold of their customer support and
Yes.
ask for help.
you can. And they do have a thing that if you go into the, if you go in there, it says, like for Netflix and different, you go to this other thing, but when I click on that to go to it,
Yeah.
the Netflix still comes up and tells you you're not, can't use it.
Don't worry about that.
I'm just trying to make it perfect. I didn't
I'd
put
say
it
This
like
that
be taking
it's
this
not
long?
doing, I'd say that
I say it's not doing it, don't you?
I could be. How long have you had the Fire Stick?
It's new,
It's brand new.
Yeah.
Did you do all the Fire Stick updates?
yes,
So it's not like waiting for things.
no.
Well, then I think I would restart it and see if you have the
was new
same
this summer.
experience.
It was new this summer because I put everything on it.
I didn't realize I had the
Okay.
remote right in front of me. So I think what I would do if I was
Over.
having this experience, I would
No,
go
he just
over
did it.
to your My Fire TV,
Yeah.
and then under that you can choose to restart the device.
Okay.
And I would do that just to see if we get a different experience when we come back to see if that's actually installing. We want, yeah, it's restarting now. That is a hard button to find on a Fire TV. There is no off button on a Fire TV, and up until the most recent generation, there wasn't a restart on a Fire TV. But now there is. There's a button under My Fire TV that you can hit restart. It's been like that for the last couple of years. Hey, you two. Jim's trying to hear.
But Linda, my question
That's what
is,
shh means.
why do you, if you get Netflix, why do you care? If you already get Netflix.
Because I wanted to get a US Netflix.
Do
to
you have a
play
US
certain
Netflix account?
Yes,
Oh,
to play certain shows, which you can't get on the Mexican.
Oh.
Proton VPN. Oh, it's not even ready yet. Still not ready yet. Proton VPN.
wow.
Now, is that the
Download.
free accounts?
Oh, yeah. So,
Well, it's the app. Nobody's signed into it yet.
no,
And it's having trouble downloading on this device for some reason. But I wonder, let's look at this too. Just what you can do is you can check your updates. I've recently set up a couple of brand new Fire Sticks, and they were for people that had questionable quality internet, and the sticks were so wonky until they got all the updates, because it was requiring so many updates. It was sucking up all their internet, and these sticks are useless without internet. So if you use all the internet, there is nothing left to build menus, to respond to your clicks.
where
And
did you find that?
in the same place the developer tools are, will you see that about?
Okay.
Yeah, and down here it's check for updates. And when you get a brand new stick, what I've learned, I've actually had to bring them back to my office and go, you know what, let me get them back to you
It's
later.
up to date.
Yeah, it is up to date.
Yeah.
But a brand new stick isn't. A brand new stick needs to go through 3 or 4
Right, it
major
did.
updates and install the apps that the stick comes with. And
Oh, I
so
got
you, with a bad internet connection, you could be an hour or 2 hours before the thing is actually working the way you expect it to work.
Yeah. Well, I got it this summer, so when I took it on with, and then bought the little TV.
The other app you might like is Aptoid TV.
Clean Shark.
What is that?
It's a clean.
Okay. One of those clean up your
Yeah.
temporary files or
Yeah.
whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Proton VPN. Big Bang Theory. Proton VPN.
It has Proton.
There it is.
See up at the top?
Well, that's the name of this app that we're trying to download right now. Now, this could be something going on with Proton, because when you get an app from a store, you don't actually get it from the store. You get links to where it's being hosted by its developer. And so it could very well be there's something going on with the Proton site right now that's slowing this down.
Okay.
So I think the best thing we can do is just keep monitoring it, see what it does. Try again later if it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah. Because right now it's just a download
Okay.
issue.
So when you're on this, the question is, you don't go to Google Play.
You
don't-
can't use Google Play to install software in a Fire Stick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The software that's hosted in Google Play may work in your Fire Stick,
Uh-huh.
but you're not going to get it from Google Play.
Okay.
Yeah. In
Okay.
fact, it brings up a really good topic about app stores, because your apps out of an app store are associated with that app store. So when you download an app from a particular app store, it's got a hash code that associates it with that store. It's a little insidious. I remember back in the day I installed Minecraft on my kids' Android tablets from Amazon. We had bought it from Amazon. And I installed the Amazon App Store so that I could download the software. Then I took the App Store out because I didn't want them to be able to download anything else. And the game stopped working. the game every so often had to see.
See the App Store was present on the device.
Thank you for finishing my sentence. They absolutely needed to see the App Store in the device to be able to run the software.
Nasty.
Yeah, well, then that's how all these app stores work too.
I don't know, it seems nasty.
Yep. That's yeah. And so for the software to work, the App Store had to be installed. Now, you guys haven't, maybe some of you haven't experienced this because you've been using Google Play, because that's what's you point to by default.
No.
Or you're using the App Store with Apple,
Yes.
which is the only option until recently because of European regulation changing. Jim's got his hand up.
If you install Aptoid TV, it has Proton in it, and it will install. It's just like the downloader. It will install the program for you on your Fire Stick.
That's
Or
awesome.
your other thing.
Now that is an app store.
Right
Yeah,
from the
because look at
downloader.
this. Look at this. It's not
So,
downloading.
Jim, that's an app store. What's it called again?
Aptoid.
Aptoid.
Toy.
It's Aptoid TV.
Aptoid TV. I have not
Or
heard
you
of
can go
this.
to Aptoid.com.
On here?
Is it 2 P's or 1?
Install it on your Fire Stick.
Okay,
And
so
then you
look at
can-
this. It's not downloading.
Aptoid TV, your independent app store for Android TV. Oh, I haven't seen this at all, Jim. Is this a
Go to
recommendation?
Aptoid.com.
Is this a recommendation for today? Download
Okay, so Jim-
Aptoid TV.
Is it a charge?
It's a what?
Is it pay?
It's free.
It's
Okay,
an app store.
Okay,
It's an
so,
app store, and it's very well known. You can download it with the Troy Point downloader that you just installed. And
Okay.
then you'll have more apps to choose from.
So then you
Also,
can
if
use
you put
this
in the
app to
toolbox-
download other apps.
If you put in Troy Point's toolbox into the downloader, it will have the apps.
Put your downloader
Aptoid
on.
TV in it that you can install.
so go back to home.
Go to downloader. Press the blue button. Press the blue button.
Okay,
Hold it. Say downloader.
downloader.
Wait. Click on downloader. Gracias, señor.
Okay,
Highlight the URL box there.
okay.
Type.
Click to type. Yeah, just select it. And now hold the blue button
Uh-huh.
and say aptoid.com. Aptoid.com.
Aptoid.com.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just hit the select button because you're already on the button.
Oh, wow. I feel stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Use the voice.
Okay. Okay, mister, come over.
All right, Jim. From here, where do we go? Aptoid app.
Download.
Aptoid.com. Aptoid.com. What is different here? I guess the one I have is tv.aptoid.com. But this should be the same domain.
So should
So,
I tell it to
That's got an
download?
E on the end of it.
yeah, it does have an E on the end of it.
Is that correct?
It looks correct, but I'm not seeing the
Should I tell it
downloader.
to- Right there.
It's down at the bottom. See if
Should I
there's
tell it to download?
Aptoid app.
I've never used it. Let's ask Jim to look at it. Look
Come
at
here.
this and see if she's in the right spot. I've never used this before. Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
this is the right browser,
Is that the right place to get
Downloader
the
rather.
download?
and you want Aptoid TV.
Well, should I
That says
download it
Aptoid
right there?
app.
That doesn't quite look right.
That doesn't look right?
Well, I don't know, it may, but
Yeah.
maybe it, but it's not. If you
It's not the
install
same,
the
I don't think.
toolbox into here, it'll already have the Aptoid in it. It has a bunch of apps
Wait,
that are
what-
ready to install.
What's the toolbox?
It's Troy Point's, this
So do I
this
gotta go back?
downloader is made by Troy Point.
Right.
The Troy Point toolbox has all the apps already in it. So all you do is you go to the toolbox.
Where is the tool?
Where do you get
And-
the toolbox?
You have to install it.
Yeah, but where do you get it?
You press on the button.
Look on your phone.
So you use downloader to search for
How do I
toolbox?
get it on the Fire Stick?
You can look at your phone and asked how to install the toolbox. I haven't done it for a long time.
How about help and type in toolbox
You might type in Troy Point Toolbox and it might come up.
or help?
That's one of the first things you do, so I haven't done it in
Toolbox
probably
on
years.
Could I-
Amazon Fires.
Troy Point Toolbox.
You'd have to get it in Troy Point to download it.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, this is,
Troy Point.
it looks like you need to go to Troy Point Toolbox. They've got a guide here for getting it
Okay,
installed.
Here's the downloader. Is this it? Troy First Baptist Church.
Let's put that one on. Do it.
Like the one with the dogs.
Okay, Linda, we're gonna move on. This topic needs more research, and
Troy
we're way out there in apps that I can't vet because I've never used them before. I'm going off of Jim's recommendation. Jim has really good information, but I can't. I've never used this stuff before, so I'm not even sure.
Works great.
I
Well, come and get it.
Liability policy.
That's right. Yeah. Which means he doesn't take responsibility for anything. But I'm putting this on YouTube and I have a professional business, so I am not going to.
No, he has the insurance, so we can sue him.
That's right. You can take every dollar. Um,
I'm not sure why I'd want
open to other topics. I've only actually brought one because I thought it was humorous. But is there anyone else here that's fighting an issue, wanting to solve a problem? I see Irving's hands up.
I sent you a link. Did you get that?
I have
You-
a question.
You did, Irving, and I wanted to mention that if you send me a Wall Street Journal link, I
Open it.
can't open it without being a Wall Street Journal.
Exactly.
And I tried very hard to find the same contents that are publicly available. And it was, I want to read the article because it was done by the Wall Street Journal. They did all the research. To me, it was a good example of why you pay for media, because I wanted to read their research, but I couldn't because I'm not a Wall Street Journal subscriber.
Me either.
Two companies handling it, but Meta glasses. Blind people and near blind people are using an ordinary looking pair of glasses that has a camera embedded, and it's giving them information that basically gives them mobility. It's an absolute breakthrough technology.
It'll tell you how to install
I
it.
think in the future,
Yes.
help people like me, slightly increase.
No, on your home. computer.
Yeah, so what Irving's talking about, what this article was about, was the Meta glasses that they're like faux Ray-Bans. They're actually real Ray-Bans, but if you look at them, they look fake. Yeah,
Susan, get off.
they're manufactured Ray-Bans. They're slightly thicker. In fact, they look a bit nerdy. It's the best they've looked so far. They have speakers in them, and so they can talk to you. And so what the article, which I didn't get to read, but what I could tell from the headline, was talking about how these kinds of glasses are helping with accessibility for people that have hearing and sight problems. Yeah, pure blindness, where it's able to talk to you. We were also seeing a lot of this stuff being used for like in real-time translations. So that you're out in the world and you're having conversations with people and you're understanding as a universal translator right there in your ear, kind of very Star Trek-ish. Yeah, if you can copy and paste the article, I'd love to read it. Yeah, because it's not an AP story. It's not something that everybody is getting a copy of. The Wall Street Journal has done research in this topic, and that was the only way to get a hold of it, was a paywall. Getting through a paywall. But it is amazing how we're going to be using these things to augment ourselves with more senses.
And if anybody's interested, Wall Street Journal's
Download.
information is fabulous. We're taking on all kinds of technology and all kinds of things that have nothing to do with politics and so on. And it's worth the subscription.
So I have a buddy that has a pair of those glasses, got him through his health insurance. They're prescribed for his prescription, and he loved them until they broke. That's it. Until they broke, and he did not like the way they looked. I mean, cosmetically, he did not care for the way they looked. He obviously had big funky glasses on wherever he
When
went.
you say broke, mechanically broke or the software broke?
Yeah, he broke them. Yeah,
Okay.
he did something like sit on them or something like that. But it was definitely not the manufacturer's fault. If you knew this guy, that wouldn't surprise you at all. Him and I share a lot of the same characteristics. I don't own $100 sunglasses because I can sit on $10 sunglasses just as easily. They're much cheaper.
Is there anyone here besides myself that have U.S. based businesses? Have U.S. based businesses?
No,
Yeah, probably
not
not.
anymore.
Right.
Why, did you want to bring up some change that's happening recently?
Well, the BOI situation,
The
beneficiary ownership information being required by FinCEN.
That's way out of my scope of knowledge. I don't know what we're talking about in that respect.
It's a filing that's required of all businesses by the Treasury Department in regards to small businesses up to 20 employees.
Okay, so it sounds like I'll be dealing with it.
And right now, thank God, it's caught in the courts.
Oh, okay.
So it's not.
It's intrusive in regards to the amount of information that's asking from the department, from the Treasury Department, and from the FinCEN investigative arm of the Treasury Department.
So this brings up an interesting topic that we've all been paying attention to, is this Doge group going through all these government,
Yeah, I mean, you can just email that information to us.
going through all these different government agencies and collecting their digital information. Tongue in cheek, I've stuck in my list of topics the fact that the Doge website was hacked as far as headlines went. If you had seen the press conference with President Trump and Elon's son running around in the White House, what Elon was announcing was that we're going through these, finding the inefficiencies. Nobody has to worry. Everything's transparent. Everything is on the website. And when tech people heard this, they're like, really? It's on the website. They went to check the website. There was nothing on the website except for a logo for Doge. There's no information there. But what they did discover is there's also no security there. And not like bad security, like they used older security or they used people that didn't know what they were doing. They had an open web WordPress that anybody could. I mean, hacking is it's fun to say, but it required no hacking. Anybody that showed up at this website would be allowed to put information into it. And so these people just put whatever they wanted, making fun of the website. That is really the news. That's what's going through the news cycle, is hacking. What poor security. This is the Doge. But what it really is it's not poor security, it's just incompetence. And that's the real story, is that they're chasing their tail to make reality meet the story that they're telling us. They did not, they didn't put a website to be completely transparent with all the moves that they're making. They put a website to meet up with what Elon was saying to the press. And so this should give you some idea of the consistency and reliability of what's going on in the U.S. government right now as far as IT stuff goes. Do I need to shut that TV down for you guys?
Yes.
I've got I will turn this meeting around right now.
Go ahead, throw
The,
it.
the other subtext of that story is that the Doge website wasn't on government servers. So you had U.S. government information existing on, Azure cloud instance, whatever.
Yeah, wherever they decided to host the world. It could be ScottStimpson.com's website of extra space for free. Just put up with the advertising.
What they were saying is it wasn't their official website or their website. Just a fictitious one that someone put up.
Oh.
No, it's
Well,
their website.
no, it's their website. I mean, they can say whatever they want. People can just say things.
Elon's guys put this up for the Doge office.
It's pretty well documented that this is what they started with, and it was chasing what Elon was saying to the media. It was not because it was ready. The next one, but I just want to say that I was listening to The Verge this morning, and they vetted this whole circumstance, and they're calling this fake transparency. This is the buzzword we're going to be using now.
That just is pretty humorous.
Right?
Exactly, it's the
Well,
same thing.
alternate facts brings a lot of things into question. Fake transparency. I mean, maybe alternate facts is similar to opaque transparency.
That pretty much cracked me up, actually.
This is what The Verge is reporting on. Is this is a dump of information on a website claiming the government has not shared this with you, and they got it from the government websites that share this information with people. The reason people are believing this is because they've never gone to the government websites to see the information sitting there. So this department is going to government websites, doing name searches on topics that matter to them, pulling the information off of the website that was public to begin with, and transposing it onto what they're calling is now the public transparency website of the exact same information. The Verge is calling this fake transparency because this has always been out there, and they're using this just to stir up frustration and animosity in our community. Look, the previous government was hiding this from you. No, it wasn't. It's always been there. The previous government didn't encourage you to go read it. Well, that's probably too. Nobody wants to read government policies. Apparently, Elon didn't want to either until he was cast with this role. And then he goes to the easiest source of information, the publicly available information, and he's telling us it wasn't publicly available. Fake transparency.
You also, he's about to walk into the Treasury Department and get all the records, everybody's tax returns, and that's going to walk out of the house. And the minute it walks out of the house, it might as well be public.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're basically...
one way or another, those databases, you think they can ever be expunged? You think they can ever call that back once it walks off the premises?
He was also told to delete certain information that he's already gotten. Really?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Well, we've learned just with the hacks that have been revealed. If you go into any one of your modern web browsers, into your password manager, if you're using that for password management, it's going to have a little section in there that lets you check your passwords to see if they're in any of these breaches. Without a doubt, you have one or two usernames that have been found with passwords in these breaches. Do those breaches go away? They do not. Never. They are always out there on the internet. These databases of usernames and passwords are always out there, always available to check, and it's considered a safety, what would I say? It makes things more safe, for lack of a better adjective. An enhancement, thank you. A safety enhancement to your lives that your username and password that was breached is out there to be checked against, because you need to know you cannot continue to use this username and password. If you've not done that kind of checking and vetting, then you're exposed.
But you're always exposed anyway. That's my whole thing. What?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you could walk outside and somebody could mug you. That's a way of being exposed.
No, I'm talking...
But if your information is in a data breach My point is that breach of information isn't going away. If anything, it's getting enhanced. It's getting easily more available.
More and more people have access to it.
More and more people have access to it. I
Only
mean,
more, never
the
less.
the example I gave of your password manager being able to determine what is it precisely an example of that. More and more people have access to these breaches. This information is a glob of information stored on the internet, and it's been made more and more publicly available. It used to be only the hackers passed it around, but that is not enhancing your security. And so now the idea is that it's out there for you to check against to know if you need to change your password. If you haven't done that, you're the reason that you're getting compromised.
But that's not true.
It is true.
It is not
It is
true.
true.
You're compromised by everybody. I don't care where your password is.
Mhm.
It's accessible to somebody.
No,
Yes.
not if they're practicing good security.
But they aren't.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not if it's only
It's a big pot.
Not if it's only stored locally.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's another.
So
Yeah.
you have traded your security for convenience because you like that. it
No, when you go to a
autofill your
doctor's office, you have to log
password.
into
Okay, so
their
it's your
site.
fault.
You have to log into their site.
Well,
And
you
then
have.
it's-
Right, but
then you
could-
get the
but you
notice,
could
oh, our
manually-
site's
but
been
you could
compromised.
manually-
So
You could manually log in.
if they're practicing
to have
good
your
security,
password
if
I
they,
understand. You
Judy,
could
if they're
manually
practicing
log
good
in.
security, if
They
they're
are.
following
They
encryption that
They
that
are.
is considered standard now in this modern age, what your password does is it gets hashed before it gets sent across the internet, so it looks like garbage. It's stored as garbage in their password log, so nobody can see your password on their end. These breaches are from poorly maintained security.
Exactly, but you
But
can't
you
help
can't
it.
say you're always compromised. You're compromised by poor implementation of security.
By my doctor, by the hospital, by the lab.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
that way. So, therefore, on that note, bye.
Don't leave us, Judy. On the cliffhanger. Nancy, how are you doing with our group?
She had a question.
Okay, what is your question? Let's give Nancy a chance to ask a question.
I just had a question about firewalls.
Okay.
I've been trying to log on to several sites, like business sites, and I, for some reason, can't get on. And it says to go and, it says cannot reach this site. And I get this standard, this is what you can do, check proxy or something, and then check your firewall. And it says to allow the app, and then
Okay, and you're doing this on your phone or
no,
a PC?
my laptop.
On your laptop under Windows.
Yeah.
And-
Windows 11.
And do you have an example of a place you're trying to go to that's giving you this?
Well, yeah, any, let's see.
Are you using a VPN?
Yes.
And it still won't let you on.
No.
Other than these particular sites, are you on in general? Are you able to just go to Hotmail or go to Google or?
Sometimes I go to just to look up something on Google Chrome, and sometimes it will. Oh, okay. Let's see. Give you an example.
Undo the VPN.
Right, I can't undo the VPN.
You-
Maybe you have to undo the VPN, turn it off.
Yeah, I definitely recommend anytime you're troubleshooting things of that nature, internet things of that nature,
Yeah.
I would try it both with and without your VPN to note any difference, to see if you've got
so
better.
try turning the VPN off
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
I've tried putting it to United States site and to Canada site, and that doesn't seem to make a difference.
So just take the VPN off.
Take it off.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is provoke it to act differently so that we can compare those different behaviors and try and figure out what's going on. You normally hear.
See, I have this problem with Capital One.
Well, say for instance, they suggested to me that I go to my settings on my Windows 11 and go to
I just want to
Privacy.
look over your shoulder for a
Yeah.
second. Let's
Go
see
to
what
the
you're doing.
privacy.
So I went to my settings on Windows, privacy and security.
Sure.
And
But
then
you
go-
shouldn't have to deal with this stuff. What is it that you're trying to
Well-
show me what you're trying to do that's telling you to
Okay.
do this?
Firewall right here.
Sure. But what is telling you that you need to
See,
do this?
this is grayed out.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I want to allow an app through firewall?
Okay.
But I
Where's
can't.
the app? Where's the app?
All right. Okay. This is a for instance.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Okay. Right now I'm in I'm
Okay.
in Canada.
So first of all,
Turn that off.
you're in Chrome. This
yeah.
is where what you're trying to do is
Yeah.
having the problem.
Yeah.
So you would not be adjusting your firewall for Chrome.
I-
Your firewall would be adjusted for applications that are installed in your computer, but not for web
it's
pages.
not for web pages.
It's not for web pages
Well, then why does it give you this?
because they send bad information all the time.
Oh,
But if you're going to it through a web browser, then you're not dealing with a firewall issue unless let's go to where you're trying to do.
all
The,
right.
the one
This is-
exception
okay,
to that,
This is a for instance.
yeah. The one exception to that would be if you're building an application in the web browser that will extend outside of the web browser through these TCP ports.
Like I've been trying for days to log into this site.
Okay, and let's see.
Now, and then what
It should
happens?
give us a message, right?
It wants a verification code.
Okay.
So I get the code. Yep, there it is. So I get the code. Okay, I put that in,
Okay,
verify.
and let's see
So
what it
should
says.
take me. But see, it keeps taking me back into sign in.
Okay.
And now I
My
go through
account.
again and get another code, and I just keep doing this like 3 times.
Now, have you tried this on a different web browser?
No, but not.
Now, that's the first quick suggestion is to
So
assume
it's the
maybe
same
there's something
sign-on
wrong
and
with
everything.
Chrome. And so going over here to Edge and just seeing if you have
See if they-
that same experience
When I
using,
finish my
I can't see your
taxes.
mouse. And just go to the exact same website, try and do exactly the same thing and see if it works. If it does, then that would mean that your Chrome browser, probably cookies or history or something like that, is just junked up. And by doing some basic maintenance on it would fix the problem. But this is a very quick way to discover whether it's browser related. Assuming this browser is working.
You also
Oh, and you've already got your
probably need-
password in that.
have you cleaned it? Have you done a
Well, that's what I was describing, yeah.
cleaning it and getting rid of all of those?
But it wouldn't matter if she
And
has
if you
the same
keep trying
problem
to-
in a
But
different
if
browser.
she keeps trying to open it, it's
Yeah,
gonna,
I
it's
keep
gonna.
trying to open it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't. You got to get rid of it all and then
So
try
did
to.
this just behave exactly the same way?
See, now it's doing the same thing. It's not,
Yeah.
now it's not even giving me going to a verification code.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to clean it off. So do your
Oh, now
There's
it
the
did.
verification code.
Let's try this.
Intermittent delays. We're working on Shaw to improve this for your. You know what? I think you're gonna have to do a.
But that's Shaw, and I'm not on Shaw.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so clean your. You know
Your-
how to clean?
I think you're gonna have to call Shaw.
I'm not on Shaw though.
Well, that's what it's saying there.
No, if you're a Shaw member,
Oh.
and I
okay.
don't use Shaw, so that shouldn't apply to me.
Well, that's too bad because they're offering Shaw customers help, and it looks like
It's doing the same thing. It's
Yeah.
taking me right back.
it sure makes me feel like I mean I'd try one more web browser because Chrome and Edge have the same motor.
Who else? Who else?
The other one was
Can I-
Firefox.
Can I ask a question?
Hey,
May I?
how are you guys doing? Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I didn't catch
No.
Charlie's real name, but anyways, you say you are not with Shaw. Were you at any point getting your internet through Shaw?
Nancy,
Sorry.
Cheryl's asking you a question.
Sorry,
Have you ever used Shaw for internet in the past?
years and years ago. But
Then the
not
Shaw,
recently.
so Shaw is sending you these things because they still have your email address, whether it's Gmail or whatever it is, and it's still affecting things. So I don't know how you can disassociate yourself completely, but I've had experience with Shaw, and it's hard to get them out of your laptop. Let's put it that way.
So-
I haven't used, this is a new laptop and I haven't used Shaw in 10 years.
Okay.
It'll be associated with your email address. You're probably using the same email address that you set your Shaw account up with.
It's a suggestion that maybe when you're accessing this with this email account, it's getting referenced as a Shaw account. I really don't think that's what's going on.
I
here,
don't
Cheryl.
either because this is not just, no, but thank you. It's not just happening with this site, it's happening with the several that I can't seem to get into.
So
Maybe it's the browser.
well, I mean, it could be. It's odd to have the same problem with two browsers, but in this case, those two browsers are of the same make. They're just two different instances, but they have the same motor driving them. And so if there's some flaw in the website, you may
Try Firefox.
you might try Firefox, but at this point, I think you're really just verifying that it doesn't work there either, because there's something going on with your account.
I know. Well, this is the
So
problem.
get
Yeah.
off the,
So
disconnect this.
Hey, Pop. Welcome.
Go to
And Paul's made it. Paul, I'm sorry we were late getting you in.
Go to here, three.
We've had a huge meeting here. We've had like 11 people
Go to
in
here,
in
the
total
browser.
here in Tequilas this morning.
browsing data.
Yes, 'cause you've-
And we did a presentation with Linda brought a TV in, and we were going through her Fire Stick, showing how to install third-party software on it. And now we're trying to solve Nancy. Nancy's a new member. She's here asking for some help trying to get into a couple of websites that she uses in
Coming.
Canada
It
while
wants me to
she's here
change
that
the
won't let her
password.
log in.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Do this again one more time to make sure.
But essentially, we've devolved into several conversations happening. That's right. We've moved into well-organized discussion groups that are divided by topics of interest.
I'm listening to
I know you suggested that years ago.
Well, I'd
Sounds
like
like
to
it's
take
really happening.
everything that's working and is cool. I'd like to take credit
I'm
for,
still
and
on
everything
phone.
that's not working and is broken, I would like to say is somebody else's fault. And I really just want to say that publicly because I'm looking for an office in the new U.S. government.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I figure if they can have 19-year-olds running through secure systems, they can have me running through secure systems. Why not?
Still,
Now,
site can't be reached now.
I've got another question for Nancy. Nancy, do you have another computer in your world?
No.
Damn it.
Well, they want you to.
I would, because I would want to pick up everything you're trying to do and just do it on another computer. If you're having the same problem on another, especially one that you don't use all the time, especially like somebody else's computer, if you have exactly the same problems, then it is not your computer that's the problem. Now, it could be that you need a VPN, you need some sort of, right? But it's not the computer that's the problem. The problem is outside of fixing the computer. It's going to require calling
get
these
on your
places and
phone?
finding out why.
Nancy.
No, I think I tried my phone.
Without the VPN?
No, I didn't try it without the VPN.
What we want to do is we want to demonstrate,
Troubleshoot.
the problem outside of something that could be broken. Like,
Well, my friend has her computer.
yeah,
I could try just going on Chrome and trying to get into these sites.
Does she use any of these sites?
No,
Okay, that would be a perfect
she
place to
doesn't use
try
them.
it. TJ, you had a
The
comment.
other suggestion I had is Nancy, it's my computer systems. Check.
No, it's.
I can't vouch for him. I don't know what he's got in mind, Nancy.
Okay,
He's been to my house and he's seen the view. Correct?
This is true.
okay, so the firewall doesn't have anything to do
No, the firewall.
with the browser thing.
That's right. Now, and like I said earlier, I stated earlier, there is an exception to that because our browsers are very sophisticated and they can be a platform for an application. And so that's where it kind of breaks down because you can open up a browser window to a site that would then download the code to load up in memory a more sophisticated application than a web page. And that application in memory has the potential of being allowed to go out into your system and connect to the internet as an application. Now, those things exist. And what happens is your firewall will tell you this is happening. It will pop up with a message and say, do you want to allow this through your firewall? But seldom are you in a specifically you, Nancy, us in general, these folks here are seldom in a situation where they need to go and edit their firewall manually. That's just not the way we do things as general consumers. You shouldn't expect that as normal behavior. And so that's why I was trying to just disregard those attempts, because if everything's working correctly in this world, you shouldn't have to do that. Now, I end up doing stuff like that because I'm working for a corporation. They've built an in-house piece of software that occasionally needs to go out to the internet. And the only way that's going to happen is if somebody goes into the firewall and says, this software that you've never seen before doesn't know how to ask for permission, so I'm going to have to force it to have permission. That's what that stuff's kind of left over for, is that kind of administration. But you as Nancy, shouldn't have to do any of that stuff.
So if I can get on this website that I want to get on my friend's computer,
It means there's something broken on your computer.
there's something wrong with my computer.
That's right. But if you have the same problem on your friend's computer, I think that's a phone call to the site you're trying to get access to, or a chat message. You're looking for customer support because you're trying to use
Yeah.
these services and
Yeah.
you can't bring them up.
It's just that it seems like it happens a lot, where it says site can't be reached, or page doesn't exist, or something.
And I'm not judging,
No.
but anytime there's an internet problem, you end up with messages like this. And so you might be having some of those messages grouped in with your own frustrations using their website. I'm fond of saying that the only thing harder than solving one problem is solving two problems at the same time. It just gets so much. Two problems are like four things you have to deal with. One problem's like one thing you have to do.
Starlink was having some connectivity issues.
If you're having connectivity problems at the same time you're dealing with sites that are having their own particular problems, that all gets mixed together in just a slew of different.
And then you don't know where the problem.
That's right. And that's why I focused on the firewall message, because I don't expect anything to be asking you to change your firewall. With the exception of a window popping up from Windows saying such and such wants access to the internet in whatever language, and you're denying or you're okaying. That's the way that you modify your firewall. You should not be going in and editing
Doing
it
it.
manually. Yeah, that's right. So you shouldn't be worried that it's low lighted. You're not the one that does that.
I thought I had to do something.
Yeah, it's not it. And one of the real fallacies of the Windows operating system is they almost tell you too much. Windows was designed by engineers and they expect everybody to be thinking the same way. And so they give you all these different reasons that you could check for why you're having a problem. And what could be the problem is the cable's disconnected, or your Wi-Fi isn't working, or you're in Mexico using internet and it doesn't work 30% of the time. And it has nothing to do with the messages that they suggested to you. It'd almost be better if it just said, internet's not working. and you're just left at it.
I took the VPN off my phone. You want to see if you can get on my phone?
Yeah, it may even end up being a completely different experience on
Right.
an Android device than on a Windows
Is this-
device.
This is an Android.
Yeah.
All right, well, I could just try.
But she
Nancy,
was
you're
on
using
Google Chrome.
ExpressVPN, correct?
No, she's using.
Nancy.
Oh, Nancy's using Express. You're using ExpressVPN, aren't you? Yeah.
May want to change the locations because sometimes there have been issues with blacklisting those IP addresses.
She has tried different destinations. It sounds like you need to get to Canada, though.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So
Try to get a Canadian website.
yeah. So you may, what TJ suggested, you might want to look for various locations in Canada. Try a different Canadian
try-
location.
Try different
Toronto,
cities.
Vancouver.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I've noticed that ExpressVPN, that's why I switched back from my computer back to work,
Yeah.
was that ExpressVPN has a large
Nancy?
addresses that are blacklisted.
Yeah.
Nancy showed up to get too much advice. All right,
Oh,
Cheryl,
I know.
go
I
ahead.
wanted all my answers. I wanted everything answered.
We've
Nancy,
got all
I
the
have-
answers. I don't know if we have the solutions, but we've got all the answers.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Nancy, the only way I can work on my iPad, on my banking, on my healthcare, on anything in Canada is to turn the VPN on and I link to either Toronto or Vancouver, and then my websites will let me access them. My TV will let me watch my TV, all those things. So I think the suggestion of taking your ExpressVPN, setting it for Vancouver, and you might find that those websites will open up just fine.
Okay, well, I did just turn the VPN off. And it's,
Okay, but no,
It was
what I'm
part of
saying,
troubleshooting.
oh,
yeah, but turning it off is not what we're suggesting. We're suggesting turn it on, but choose the location Canada.
Yeah,
Change
try
the
various
location.
Canadian locations.
yeah,
to
tried
see if you get a
varying the
different.
location in Canada.
There are exactly two.
There's
Yeah,
only
it's
two.
just Toronto and Vancouver.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't give you a lot of options. But
No.
my experience with ExpressVPN, if you can narrow it to being an ExpressVPN problem, then you can contact them directly.
Them and ask them.
Yeah, ask them for help. They will point you to something that will make it work, or they'll come back with a solution that you can use. It maybe even using some other service they've got. If you can narrow it down to an ExpressVPN problem, you definitely want to make sure that you have the latest version of ExpressVPN running.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call them and they will walk. I've talked to them about Netflix mostly.
I found them very, very good. Their support has been very good.
So I recently have been enlightened to the idea that they were bought by a mischievous company. And so I have stopped recommending ExpressVPN.
Oh,
It is one of a...
Just Proton.
Proton's the only thing just off the cuff I feel comfortable because I know what Proton's all about. Not because I've used it, but I know what it's all about. ExpressVPN I've used a lot, and I've always recommended it because of its ease of use. They're helpful people.
Right.
It's cross-compatibility, the ability to just get it out of the App Store on the... There's all these great things about it, but they got swooped up with about 6 other VPN providers bought by a company, an Israeli company, that has been notorious for doing malware distribution on ad platforms. They are supposedly have corrected their ways, and they have enough money that they went out and bought all these VPN companies. That action alone, it's a Cape Company, I think is the name of it. Cape, I think that's the name of it. That action alone makes it very questionable what's happening to your privacy while you're trying to use their security. I think that they are an organization ripe to be approached by governments with a lot of money to allow exit node monitoring because they're all about the profit. And one of the things that a VPN can do and will start doing is funneling traffic through specific exit nodes. So if I know you're using ExpressVPN, if I know you're typically going to Dallas, I just have to go to the Dallas exit node and start monitoring the exit data for your data. And so you're trying to create a security, and you VPN to Dallas from here. Nobody in this restaurant's going to be able to compromise your data. Nobody in the Telmex network is going to be compromising your data. But if you have government agencies or even bad guys sitting at the Dallas node of ExpressVPN, well, then there's where your data can be compromised. I am a bit concerned that they've done this movement in states in the United States against pornography. Not that, well, I don't actually have anything against pornography, but my point being that they have something against pornography, and they're putting the onus on these pornographers to do age verification. And they want to do age verification at the state level, which opens up a whole can of worms for privacy. These pornographers have decided, no, screw you, we're not going to be responsible for any of that kind of data leakage. So we're just going to block our sites in these states, which is what these governments should be expecting them to do. And what happens when they block pornography in Florida? You get 1,500% jump in VPN usage. All of a sudden, everybody in Florida is using ExpressVPN. So your security is diminished when you know where you're going with all the data. You're not getting the security you were hoping for. This is a really, what is the? It's Machiavellian. What is the word I'm looking for? Machiavellian, yeah, approach to getting people's data. Go ahead, Cheryl. I see you have something.
Okay, we use an ExpressVPN, and I just heard you list the reasons why you like it, and then on the other side, the reason you don't. And I need to know how much the balance is. Is this a bit of a concern? Is this a huge concern? And for me personally,
it's a huge concern.
It outweighs all of those benefits that we just listed about how well we like it.
I wish I had a better suggestion. I wish I had another ExpressVPN to recommend to people. Jim actually is the one that turned me on to this, and apparently we've been in this state for the last 3 years, and I had not been paying attention. Because ExpressVPN is so well run, it's so easy to use, it's hard not to recommend it. But when you find out who's backing, the money that's backing these VPNs now, and the fact that they were all gobbled up at the same time,
That's a point. Maybe it's
that's a real security concern.
Is that a security concern for me personally, any more than other things are a concern to me personally? Or is this a global, you as a tech guy are concerned about where this is going? What I need to
Yeah, the
know
second one is definitely the biggest concern. But the first thing you mentioned, I would find this analogous to what's happening with data brokers right now, where in the United States they're allowed to sell your activities, because that is absolutely how these organizations are making their money nowadays. Your TV manufacturers, your car manufacturers, Amazon, these people are making money. These businesses are making money collecting your data in groves and selling it to data brokers so other people can come and buy it from them. Your concern is that they will be doing the same thing with your data. And the problem is that what data brokers has taught us is it's not anonymous, that it can be targeted specifically at Cheryl Howe, and it can be targeted at you for insurance. It can be targeted at you for credit. It can be targeted at you.
There's nowhere.
Sorry about that. I'm supposed to have my phone turned off. this is how data brokers are being utilized in this manner now. I'm not going to be surprised when they are used for permission to go get a visa. So you do have to be concerned at a personal level when you see this kind of thing happening.
Okay, so I was listening and hearing those things. If I want to go out and get insurance, they might have some information that I wouldn't share with them. I wouldn't do that. I would share any of the information that was pertinent.
No,
If I,
you wouldn't. Yeah, all right. I mean, I can banter back and forth and play the devil's advocate and all these things.
yeah,
But overall, what we're doing is we're creating an environment where people are getting compromised without even knowing it. It's a whole different kind of security problem.
okay, because I know that I just have to talk about wanting to lose weight and I get all the lose weight ads. I know that I mentioned just to my friends, my hip hurts, and I get all these ads about hip surgeries and things like that. And, you know, somebody's listening, all that kind of stuff, but I'm not really afraid of that data being out in the world. So I really have a concern.
I guess, Cheryl, if I would equate these kinds of concerns. I just had it on the top of my head and I lost it. There,
Contact them.
that the concern that you should, I know what it is that I'm trying to say. I'm frustrated with our social media companies, not because they're collecting your data and selling it, which we all need to understand that's going on. I'm concerned because when they do their own analysis and determine that what they're doing is hurting people, and then they are able to ignore that and continue to hurt people, I think they should be held accountable.
Yeah, see, right there.
And what I'm referring to is the Instagram studies that Facebook did to determine if they were actually doing damage to kids' psyches. And their study said that they did, and they covered them up and continued to make money. That's my concern. The VPNs being bought by malware distributors is something that we need to be concerned about in the very same light. It's not what they're doing, it's how they're doing it. And it's their motivation behind it that should have us so concerned. Their motivation in owning a dozen VPN companies is not to make the world more secure. It's to compromise more people so they can make more money. That's what we should be concerned about.
Okay, so we're concerned about ExpressVPN being in with this whole bunch of VPNs, companies and stuff, and we don't have a good alternative at this point.
Proton VPN is the only thing, because we know it's in I think it's Switzerland. We know it's outside of the American marketplace. They have dedicated themselves to security. They've documented everything they've done. Their code is open source. It's vetted. So I am not a Proton VPN user, but I know from everything I know about Proton, it is the only one I feel comfortable recommending in terms of security at the moment. We'll find some better alternative. We'll find some other alternatives, I'm sure, but only if we recognize this as a threat. This consolidating of all this security under one umbrella. You know, I might not even be as concerned about the consolidation of all this security under one umbrella if the umbrella was IBM or Apple. I might feel less concerned. I'm more concerned that it's an Israeli company that has been proven in the past to inject malware into ad-based systems to compromise computers. They have been slapped on the wrist and allowed to continue to operate as a business. They've been allowed to bring venture capital in at such abundance that they can buy all these security companies. This is a real concern. Sorry, didn't mean to rant, but I will support VPN, ExpressVPN. If you guys are into it, you've already subscribed to it, you need help using it, I'm going to still help you with it. but I'm going to tell you this rap right alongside it, and we're going to be looking for an alternative. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Well, guys, we have gone over our hour by 40 minutes, which is pretty typical around here, Nancy. So.
Okay.
But we do need to bring it to a close, and normally we do that with some recommendations for each other. Recommendations are all over the board. They can be anything. They're just, we want to share with each other the things that we find interesting and exciting. They can be movies, YouTube videos, shows. They can be websites that you're using or apps that you're finding helpful, books or audiobooks, anything that you'd like to share with the group. This is the time to do it. Does anyone have a recommendation for this week's meeting? See no hands. Cheryl, you got anything? Fred? I'd yell out for Jim, but he's right in front of me.
Sorry, I don't have any. I'm still stuck in the resident, but I'm on to the last season, so I'm pretty good there. And I'm reading a few things, but nothing I'm ready to recommend.
Nothing to recommend. Okay. Anybody else out there? Nancy, you got anything you'd like to share with everybody?
Can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything else. I always put our YouTube channel on this list, though. Yeah, Bill.
I can recommend the chilaquiles.
Once again. Lunch and breakfast recommendations is at Tequilas.
Chilaquiles divorciado.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Sid, we've been eating at places for the last couple of weeks. You got any recommendations of restaurants for us? Besides Tequilas. Tequilas is always the first recommendation.
Burgers Ray. Really good.
Oh, that's right. We went to Burgers Ray for the first time, and they had great beer and great burgers.
A nice hack at Burgers Ray is to order the flight, the sample flight. You get as much or more beer than a regular glass, which you get at less price. You have to vary your beer a little bit, but it's a good side.
That is a great recommendation to get the
People that run it are really good people.
Yeah, I don't know them, but that's good to hear. What is that called? It's a float or a flight?
At least I
You
know
get
something.
four beer, big glasses, but it adds up to more than a glass of beer.
A flight.
A flight. A flight of beers. Well, I'll have to remember that next time we go in there. Nancy,
The plural of beer.
you're very welcome.
I text you, but you'll know what it's about.
Okay.
Because it was about that.
And I hope that you'll join us next week. You're
Yeah,
very welcome
no,
to.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
A flight of beer. There's no such thing as beers. One
Flight.
beer, two beer, three beer, four.
Two beer or not two beer? That is the question.
It's like deer. How many deer were in the field?
Are you saying there's no such thing as beers? Go get us the beers? That doesn't exist?
Brewskis.
Get rid of the S.
Get rid of the S. Why am I feeling like this might be a Canadian thing?
Oh,
We only drink one beer, and then she brings the barrel out.
Probably so.
Okay, guys, I don't have any other recommendations. I guess I put a recommendation on The Verge, the latest podcast. Listen to what Elon Musk is doing. Listen to the falsity of transparency, this fake transparency that's going on. People that aren't, government's boring. People don't go and read. We have a very transparent government. That information is out there, and they are playing with people's emotions right now, putting up stuff that's always been put up, saying that you never got to see this when it was always available. It should be affecting our opinions and the way we make decisions about our current government. I'm looking around for some Americans in the room.
Right.
There we go. Everyone's shaking their head. Yeah. All right, well, let's get out of here. This has been the San Carlos Computer Club. We meet every Tuesday. Tequilas at 10 o'clock to talk tech talk for the morning and have breakfast. And anyone is welcome to join us. If you're here in San Carlos, come on down. And if you're not, well, check out the virtual meeting. We will put you online with us. You can ask questions, share your topics, and be part of our meeting. You do not have to be in San Carlos to be part of the club. We'll let you guys go. Fred, it was good to see you. I hope you'll be with us next week. Cheryl, I hope
I'm
you'll
gonna
be
give
in.
it a try.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
You too. I'm jealous. He's in Costa Rica.
Are you off?
We are off.